Good evening, students.
Good evening, sir.
Yes. So happy to meet you all today through the Zoom meeting. So today we'll be discussing about like the important aspects of life processes, and hope you know like what are all the different type of life processes and the organs connected with that, and then their specific functions, and together all of these processes helps us to live, helps us to manage the life aspects, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So how many else are ready to join? Fine. So have you all prepared well in this chapter? Yes,
Sir,
all of you? Somewhat. Okay. Good. So yes, can you all able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Like the first question is very interesting. You can see here, like how do we tell that the difference between what is alive and what is not alive? Can someone tell me how to differentiate between living and non-living things?
Molecular movements.
Oh, molecular movements. Very good. Then, yes. So, what is there in your book? You can see a dog running, the cow chewing curd, and a man shouting. And then, like, these are the simple examples given for the life. Maybe the kind of actions, okay, by which we can say the organism is alive. And also, these are any layman can tell this, right? A dog is running, so you can say it is alive. As a science students, Like what you can say even more in detail. You can see like organisms are breathing. Okay, and the plants look so green in color, so it is alive. And if it is alive, like they can do the photosynthesis or whatever. So the green plants, okay, that color itself tells yes, they are alive. The plant leaves are green. Okay, that appearance. Okay, in plants, if it is looking so green, you can say it is alive, right? In animals, because of their actions, you can say. And then the processes like breathing means the organisms are alive. You can say that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So some movements which are very visible and some are even we cannot see, but still it is happening in the body. Okay, like somebody said, the first answer which I got for this question is molecular movement. Yes. See, something is called homeostasis. Okay, a term called what? Homeostasis. And then another important aspect called non-equilibrium steady state.
Sir, what is homeostasis?
Yeah, I'm coming to that. Right. See, homeostasis, a non-equilibrium steady state. Like the living organism has to maintain homeostasis. Homeostasis means proper body temperature, proper water level in the body, proper nutrient concentration, gas exchange. So all the time the cell, the system has to maintain that. Okay, the normal conditions. For example, if you go to the hospitals or whatever, they will check. Yes, temperature is maybe 98 point something Fahrenheit. Okay, yes. If they ask something, you can able to answer. Okay, like they look into you, observe, maybe they can take some test or whatever, they'll say, yes, your body is normal. So always there are certain parameters like temperature, pH, water level, nutrient levels in the blood, in the cell, it is maintained. So that condition, okay, when we are normal, the living conditions, the body conditions, like whatever it could be, physical and chemical conditions are normal. That is actually called the maintenance of normal millennia in the body. That is called what? Homeostasis. Always the normal conditions are maintained. Correct? Can you understand this? What is
Yes, sir.
homeostasis? Yes. And to maintain that homeostasis, we are unicellular or multicellular organism?
Multicellular.
Yes, we are multicellular organism. To maintain that homeostasis, like every cell continuously works in the system. Okay, every cell has its own task. Cells are the basic unit of our life. There are varieties of cells which makes tissues, and tissues makes organs, and then organ system it comes. So from the little unit cells, okay, the cells always working continuously to maintain this homeostasis. So non-equilibrium steady state in the sense, when you want to say something, some cell is alive. For example, like here you saw the organism is alive, some visible movements and invisible movements, you can say molecular movements. Based on that, you can say the organism is alive. To say something like the cell is alive, how can you say? Because by this mechanism, non-equilibrium steady state mechanism. So, for example, the cell inside also there is a fluid called what? ICF, means intracellular fluid. Outside also there is a fluid called extracellular fluid. Okay, inside the cell you have intracellular fluid, outside the cell you have extracellular fluid. Just example, sodium is present here. in high concentration. Potassium is present here in high concentration inside the cell. Here 110 potassium, here 10 potassium. Okay, here 140 sodium, here just 10 sodium inside the cell. Always this concentration of this simple ion should be maintained. Okay, that is called what? Non-equilibrium steady state. Like that, sodium, calcium, potassium, all of the substances should be maintained at their correct concentration inside as well as outside. No molecules in general attains equilibrium. Okay, no molecule attains equilibrium. It should not attain equilibrium. For example, you just assume if the oxygen level outside the cell and inside the cell attains equilibrium, what will occur? Can you tell me? If the oxygen level in the extracellular fluid and the intracellular fluid attains equilibrium, what will occur?
No exchange of gases.
For oxygen.
Yeah, okay, good. So their exchange of gases, you cannot respirate. Your lungs cannot receive oxygen. Okay, there is no the blood, the heart cannot transport oxygen. Red blood cells cannot carry oxygen. So the normal millennia is affected. So that is called what? But always the cells utilizes oxygen and always there is a demand inside the cell. For example, outside the oxygen is 90, inside it is 45. Okay, outside 90, inside 45. That's why high concentration to low concentration, the oxygen can diffuse. If it is 70 or whatever, then it means the cell is not alive. Okay, what I'm trying to insist, life processes, the ultimate purpose, objectives of life processes, we have varieties of processes. They helps in what? Like processes, like you can easily say, if I ask you what are the life processes, can someone tell me what are the life processes? Can you list some
Digestion,
yes.
Nutrition,
absorption,
Very good,
digestion,
very good, very good. So
respiration.
digestion, yes, digestion, respiration, excretion, whatever. So all these things are supporting what are all the two mechanisms? Homeostasis and non-equilibrium steady state. Okay, so all the processes are to support what? Homeostasis and non-equilibrium steady state mechanisms. Can you understand the importance of life processes and examples of life processes and how you can say something alive or something or not alive? Okay, by physical observation, like a dog moving, a plant is green, you can say the organism is alive. It is visible characteristics. The invisible characteristics are like someone said, the molecular movements makes the organisms like alive. Okay, you can say, and that purpose of all these external visible movements as well as internal invisible movements, the processes, all this, the ultimate purpose is to maintain homeostasis and the cell to for the maintenance of this homeostasis, even the little unit called a cell works. Each and every cell works in a multicellular organism to maintain this homeostasis. Okay, so this is about from the cellular level to the organism level, the life importance of life processes. Okay,
Yes, sir.
yes. Now, as you all know, what are the important processes, at least in this chapter?
Nutrition, respiration,
Yeah,
excretion,
is
digestion,
is
digestion,
Transportation, respiration.
Calculation.
Yes. Okay. Very good. Very good. See, for homeostasis, you can use this sentence as your definition, like the life processes. For example, the life processes. What is the objectives of life processes? If I ask you, life processes, you can say the processes which together perform and for what maintenance job, okay, are called what life processes. Maintenance, homeostasis, okay, that is what the life processes. And here they are explaining about, you can say, different processes like digestion and nutrition, and then you can see respiration, and then you can see circulation, okay, transportation and circulation, and of course you can see excretion. Okay, so the important processes which are explained in this chapter are like the maintenance important life processes, digestion and nutrition, and you can see respiration and transport system, and then excretion. So four important processes. Can someone quickly say main objectives of each and every four of these processes? What for digestion and nutrition? Yes, what for digestion and nutrition? Yes. Hello. Can you tell me what is the objective of digestion
so to
in
digest the food
humans?
particles.
Yes, in humans. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. See, in humans, what mode of nutrition we follow?
Holozoic.
Yes, Holozoic mode of nutrition. What are all the five important processes connected with Holozoic mode of nutrition?
Ingestion, digestion,
Digestion, absorption, assimilation, and excretion.
Very good. So that is what happens in digestion. Okay, like we have to eat called ingestion, and then it has to be broken down, the complex substances. We are heterotrophic organisms, so we have to take food from outside since we cannot make the food inside. So it has to be digested by the digestive system, and it should be absorbed to the blood, and it should be circulated all over the body to each and every cell. The food's nutrients should be supplied, and then the cell will utilize and produces waste. The waste has to be excreted out. So these are all the important steps in digestion and nutrition. So you have to supply, cell has to get it, it has to send the waste, and the waste has to be removed. It is a kind of cyclic processes. Very good. And then respiration. What is the importance of respiration?
It breaks down glucose molecules into to produce energy.
Okay, glucose molecule, fine. Only glucose is, we follow what mode of respiration?
Pulmonary.
Okay, pulmonary respiration, aerobic respiration. Okay, so what is the respiratory pigment in humans? Humans would a respiratory pigment.
Is it hemoglobin?
Very good, hemoglobin. Yes, because hemoglobin only acts as the
Carrier for oxygen and carbon dioxide.
carrier for oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, fine. So listen. Okay, what is oxyhemoglobin?
Sir, it's hemoglobin when it has bonded with 4 oxygen molecules.
Yeah. Okay, when the hemoglobin is connected with the oxygen molecule, it is called oxyhemoglobin. Very good. So, like in respiration from the atmosphere, you inhale oxygen. and it reaches your lungs, alveoli. And then from alveoli, diffusion occurs from alveoli to blood through capillaries. And then heart, it reaches the heart pumps. And then every cell receives oxygen. Cells utilizes oxygen to break down glucose, and all cellular activities are done only with the help of this oxygen. So finally the waste is produced. Fine. What comes out of the cell? Oxygen is utilized. Okay.
The carbon dioxide and other metabolic wastes.
Okay, oxygen is utilized. Okay, oxygen enters into the cell. Do you think carbon dioxide is coming out? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Actually, if the carbon dioxide, oxygen used, carbon dioxide is produced. If the carbon dioxide comes out as such, what occurs? It becomes cytotoxic. What is called cytotoxic?
It is bad for the cell.
Yeah, it is toxic to the cell. Cell will die. Okay. There is an enzyme called what? Carbonic. Do you remember this enzyme? Carbonic anhydrase. What it does?
It converts carbon dioxide into
Correct, correct. Yes. See, if the carbon dioxide as such it is released, what occurs? It becomes toxic to the cell. So, the cell, red blood cell, convert this carbon dioxide into bicarbonate. See, like this buffering system, H plus CO3 minus. Okay, bicarbonates, H2CO3. There is a conversion between these molecules. Okay, so that's very, very important. Carbon dioxide as such cannot come. Only 30% of the carbon dioxide as such comes out and exhaled. But other 70% of the carbon dioxide is converted into this form, a cyclic form, H plus CO3, bicarbonate buffering system. This system is called what? Bicarbonate buffering system. Okay, that's another important aspects of the red blood cells. Okay, can you understand?
Yes, sir.
So what is cytotoxic? What do you mean by that?
Sites means cells, ma. Sites means cells. They are toxic to the cells. Sites means cells. If the cell releases all of the carbon dioxide as such, the cell itself will die. If carbon dioxide concentration is increases, then the cell will die. If cell dies, we will die together. One after other, all the cells will die, and then we will die finally. So that is why we say sites means cells. Toxic means cells are toxic to the substances called carbon dioxide. Cytotoxic. Can you understand? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, good. And then now, importance of transportation system. Okay, we have a, what type of transport system we have? What kind of transport system we have? Open, maybe I can give you a choice. Do we
closed
have,
transport system.
yeah, closed. Okay, what are the components of our transport system?
Pumps, capillaries,
Hmm.
and fluid blood.
Yes. So pumping organ, heart, and then arteries, vessels, capillaries, veins, all these things. Veins, veins, all are the components of what? Transportation system. Okay? Fine. Very good. So you know the functions of heart, the anatomy of the heart, and then the types of vessels and arteries. Correct? Fine. Good. Can I ask you one simple question? What is called septa? What are all the different type of septa are there in heart? Okay. What is septa?
The wall of the heart, I mean, dividing it into the 4 chambers.
Okay. The internal, for example, you have atrium and ventricle, correct? Smaller atrium and larger ventricles. And these separating walls only makes 4 chambers of the heart. Okay, the separating walls makes 4 chambers of the heart called septa. Fine. What is this called? Is there any specific name for this?
Sorry.
Very good. Interventricular septum. Okay. And this is
Atrioventricular septum.
very good. Atrioventricular septum. Interatrial septum. Very good. So the heart, human heart, possesses 4 chambers. But are there any other organisms having a different kind of heart?
Fish
Yes,
has
sir.
2 chambers.
And amphibians
Yes.
have chamber.
Very good. Very good. So fine. Very good. So in this one, like considering the transportation system, especially in humans, the heart, what cells makes the heart?
Cardiomyocytes, sir.
Okay, like it is there are 2 type of nodes are there. What are they?
SA node and AV node.
Wow, what is the function of SA node?
Sinoatrial node and atrioventricular node.
Yeah, what is the function of SA node?
To generate impulse.
Yeah, it is called what? Pacemaker. Okay, fine, good. Anyway, we are going to discuss a little more about the heart also. And fine, the excretion. Why we need excretory system?
To transport all the waste particles from our body outside because they're toxic to the body, so we have to transport them outside.
Yes.
Nitrogenous waste.
Very good. See, listen, even the cell can live without food, but it cannot live with too much of wastes. Okay, more than like the supply of food, the removal of wastes is very, very important. Correct? The removal of wastes is very, very important. Otherwise, what occurs? The waste substances become harmful. Okay, can you understand?
Yes,
Harmful
sir.
in the sense what?
Harmful to the body.
Yeah, body, cell, system, whatever. Very good. So, can you list some of what are the organs connected with the excretory system?
Kidney.
Urinary bladder.
Okay, fine. See, there are 3 type of wastes, right? Liquid wastes, solid wastes, and gas wastes. And what organ very important for liquid waste removal?
Kidney.
Okay, kidney. And then for solid?
Large
Large
intestine.
intestine.
Okay. For gases?
Lungs.
Lungs.
Lungs. Very good. Okay, fine. What is the role of skin here?
Sir, liquid waste, sir.
It excretes in the form of sweat.
Sweat, sir.
Okay, see, listen. Skin, like the water, means the water, used water, as well as water soluble wastes. Okay, water soluble wastes are excreted by skin. Okay, like, and then even gases. So why we get bad odor in our skin?
Because gas is released.
Yeah, the carbon dioxide, especially the carbon dioxide and the derivatives, metabolic wastes. Okay, metabolic wastes are excreted out even through the skin. So that makes bad odor, okay, in our body. Okay, yeah. So skin. And what is the role of liver in excretion? Do you think liver is playing an important role in excretion? Yes. Hello, students.
Not sure, sir.
Liver takes a role in excretion. You know that or not?
It provides pigments.
It helps in detoxification.
Hmm. Yes, actually, liver helps in detoxification. Very good. Means the harmful substances are converted into harmless substances. So detoxification unit. And another important thing is, as we know, kidney is the organ which removes water, water soluble wastes. Okay, kidney removes water soluble wastes. Okay, but what happens to water insoluble substances?
They are converted into water soluble by the kidney.
Yeah, very good. So kidney, the liver converts water insoluble substances to water soluble substances, harmful substances, so harmless substances. Thus, it helps kidney to excrete the wastes in water soluble form. Okay, fine. Can I ask you, based on the excretion, like organisms, animals are classified into 3 groups, right? Do you remember? The form in which the nitrogenous wastes are excreted out. The organisms are classified into 3 groups. What are they? What is the excretory waste, nitrogenous excretory waste in humans?
Urea.
Very good. Very good. See, listen. There are a monotelic organism. Okay? Ammonotelism. What is ammonotelism? Ammonia is a excretory waste. Aquatic animals excrete their nitrogenous waste in the form of ammonia. Okay? And the birds and all, uric acid. Okay? Birds and all excrete the waste in the form of what? Uric acid. Humans, urea. So, ammonotelism, uricotelism, ureotelism. Can you understand? Based upon the form of waste, the organisms are classified into ammonotelism, urotelism, and uricotelism. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, fine. So now we just discuss about important processes in humans, all life processes and their significance. Shall we discuss some questions in this area? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes.
so should we note down these questions or like will they be posted in the app?
It may be it can be posted also, right? Shuma, just to check. Okay. Fine. Anyway, so we can actually, we will get into the subject little more detail, then we can come to these questions. Because when you go little more detail about all the processes, it is easy for you to answer these questions. Okay, fine. Let me ask you one question. Like here, the first question, NCERT question. Can you answer? Why is diffusion insufficient to meet the oxygen requirement of multicellular organisms like humans?
Because humans are multicellular organisms, so
Hmm.
all the cells are not in contact with the outside environment to get the oxygen in. And for that, so diffusion is insufficient to meet the oxygen requirements of multicellular organisms.
Okay, very good. We are multicellular, and the cells are placed like everywhere, and just by diffusion, no chances for the cell to meet its requirements based upon diffusion. Fine, very good. What is diffusion then? What is diffusion?
So is diffusion like when oxygen is transported inside the body by like a surface, it goes through just a surface.
Okay, see, diffusion is a kind of passive transport, and means higher concentration to lower concentration, the substance moves. And they may ask one question, for example, if you look into the cell membrane, like it is having phospholipid bilayer, and then the protein channels, oxygen and carbon dioxide can easily diffuse through the phospholipid bilayer. Okay, only the respiratory gases, simple gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide can easily diffuse through the phospholipid bilayer. Okay, like as I said, high concentration to low concentration, so diffusion. Can you understand? Sometimes they may ask how oxygen molecule diffuses through the cell membrane. So this question you can answer, but sometimes they may ask how oxygen molecule diffuses to the cell. You can say through the phospholipid bilayer, from high concentration in the extracellular fluid to the intracellular fluid. Low concentration molecules can, oxygen molecules can diffuse. Okay, fine. Now, most of the thing we discussed about humans and especially animals, but in general, like coming to the nutrition, there are two kind of organisms, like in simple autotrophic and heterotrophic. What are the main organisms comes under autotroph?
Plants.
Green plants.
Okay, plants. Only plants?
And
Few bacteria.
bacteria.
Few bacteria. Can you name some bacteria? Fine. Okay, the blue-green algae, cyanobacteria. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and in protist and algae are there. Even in, of course, plants. Okay, like there are unicellular microorganisms, prokaryotic as well as unicellular eukaryotic organisms are there. They also follow this autotrophic nutrition. Okay, fine. So in plants, look at that. What are the raw material required for the photosynthesis, and where the organisms gets these raw materials?
Atmosphere.
Atmosphere. Only from atmosphere?
Soil.
Okay, soil. Fine. So what are from atmosphere, what are from soil, and how plants, through what components they absorb all these things? Yes. For example, it requires carbon dioxide. Gets the carbon dioxide from atmosphere through,
Stomata.
yeah, the leaves and its components. Okay, so through the leaves the plant gets its carbon dioxide. Okay, fine. It requires water. From where it gets
Soil.
water? Yeah,
Through the
From
roots.
soil. Okay, it gets water. Very good. What is the water conduction system in plant?
Xylem.
Xylem.
Okay, xylem helps in the absorption of water. Okay, and what else it requires apart from carbon dioxide and water? What the plant requires for
Sunlight
photosynthesis?
and chlorophyll.
Sunlight.
Hmm? Externally,
Sunlight, sir.
yeah, the sunlight it requires. From where it gets?
Sun.
Okay, what is spar? What is spar? What is spar?
Not sure, sir.
It is like the sunlight is having lot of energy, but the plant absorbs a particular wavelength of radiation, which is actually called what? Photosynthetically active radiation. What is PAR? PAR, photosynthetically active radiation. Okay? PAR means what? Photosynthetically active radiation. It is observed by chlorophyll. Okay, the light harvesting complex. Chlorophyll is actually called what? The light harvesting complex. Okay, it absorbs the PAR, photosynthetically active radiation. Is it clear? Hello,
Yes,
students?
sir.
Yes, so that's very important thing. And then like the opening and closure of stomatal pore. What it is connected with?
Guard cells.
Yeah, God cells. And what processes?
Transpiration.
Okay, very good. So depends upon the presence or absence of water. Okay, the opening and closing of the God cells basically results in what? Cell swelling and cell shrinking. If there is more amount of water, and then the cell obviously swells, means the absorption. And then if there is no like massive transpiration, and then the cell basically God cell shrinks. Thus, it regulates movement of water. Okay, fine. So these experiments basically helps us to understand what are the requirements of photosynthesis. Okay, good. And then coming to the other simple organisms and their mode of nutrition, plants, photosynthesis, very good. Apart from that, there are different type of heterotrophic mode of nutrition. How it is there in amoeba?
It
For
occurs
example,
through pseudopodia, which is a
yeah.
finger-like projection.
What is pseudopodia?
It's a finger-like projection arising from the body of the amoeba.
Okay, very good. Okay, so some organisms like something called intracellular and then extracellular. Means the digestion is intracellular and extracellular, they will say. What is intracellular digestion? What is extracellular digestion?
So for intracellular digestion, like the digestion occurs inside the body, but for
Hmm.
extracellular, like the food is broken outside the body and then it
Yeah.
is transported inside.
Yes. See, these organisms, unicellular organisms, the organism is small. Maybe the food is this much. They produces enzymes and then digest and then makes into simple substances. Then they engulf and then they utilize for their life processes. Okay, so unicellular organism. like convert the substances externally, they digest and take the simple substances. Okay, we multicellular organisms take it in complex form and digest the substances inside. Okay, fine, just keep that in mind. And then you know the components of digestive system here, like what are the, you know, what is alimentary canal? What is alimentary canal?
It's the long tube that transports the food from the mouth to
Yeah.
the various other digestive.
Yes, see, it starts with mouth and ends with anus. All these components are digestive, means alimentary canal. When you look into the components of digestive system, they are separated into two sets, two types. One is alimentary canal and another one is associated organs. Okay, what are the components or called the associatory organs? If you know the series of order of alimentary canal, you can tell me now. What is the series of order of alimentary canal? See, look at that. The mouth, the buccal cavity consists of teeth, tongue, and then you have esophagus, and then stomach, and then the small intestine consists of three parts, you know, duodenum, ileum and cecum, means jejunum and ileum, duodenum, jejunum and ileum. And then you have large intestine, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and rectum, and finally anus. Okay, mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, anus. They are the components of alimentary canal. Associated glands are like the salivary glands in the mouth, liver, gallbladder, pancreas are the associated organs of the digestive system. And of course, you know the functions of each and every component. You should know what are all the components of digestive system and their functions, specific functions in digestion. Okay. Now, the next process, respiration. Here, what you should know is the types of respiration. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration. What are called aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration?
Aerobic respiration occurs in the presence of air. Anaerobic respiration occurs in the absence of air.
Air. Okay. In our body, aerobic respiration occurs or anaerobic respiration occurs?
Aerobic.
Only aerobic?
Anaerobic can occur the lack of oxygen.
Okay. Where?
Muscle cramps, sir.
From muscle cells.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. See, in general, organisms are classified into aerobic organism and anaerobic organisms. Means organisms can live in the presence of oxygen. Organisms or cells can live in the absence of oxygen. So aerobe, anaerobe. But here, based on that only, the types are there. Okay, like yeast fermentation is anaerobic. Okay, in the absence of yeast, can live in the absence of oxygen. We are primarily aerobic. Okay, we need oxygen. We involve aerobic respiration, but we should not think that only aerobic respiration occurs in the body. Okay, sometimes this chart helps you to understand. Like here, in humans, in the absence of oxygen, okay, especially in the muscle cells. Okay, when we are doing continuous workouts, when the muscle is involved in continuous functioning. So there, reduction of oxygen. You would have seen the people who runs relay or marathon and all. So initially they were so fast, energetic, and finally they can't even take a single step. They fell down. That's because the anaerobic respiration, there actually what occurs? Absence of oxygen. They lack oxygen. So more amount of energy is produced only in the presence of oxygen. But here you can see very, very less amount of energy. But instead of that, lactic acid gets accumulated. That's why less, because of the less energy, here it is more energy, like water. They cannot able to take another step. Okay, so in our body, aerobic and anaerobic respirations occurs, but the spot and the conditions are different. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And now the other process is respiration. You know the mechanism of respiration, right? Can someone tell me inspiration and expiration, the mechanisms? Okay, the inspiration, yeah.
So you're asking mechanism of inspiration and expiration.
Yes, yes. I'm just asking the 4 important steps in inspiration and expiration.
Sir, when you're inspiring, the diaphragm contracts and it flattens, and the internal intercostal muscles also contract to lift the ribs up, and this totally increases the volume of the lung cavity, thus decreasing the pressure, so air rushes in through the
Okay. See,
nostrils.
listen, actually the diaphragm lowers in inspiration, the diaphragm lowers. Okay, because of that only there is increase in the lung volume. Since the lung volume is increased, reduction in pressure. So since pressure is decreased, air can enter. Okay, you can say diaphragm lowers, lung volume increases, lung pressure decreases, air enters. Okay, so that's inspiration. And expiration, you can say diaphragm returns, lung volume decreases, pressure increases, air is expelled out. So mechanism of respiration you should know. Okay, fine. And then transportation, very important thing, like the anatomy of the heart you should know. And then like you can separate the components of the heart, like type of nodes, type of valves, type of chambers, type of separating like systems, like that. You have to understand the components. Okay, and then the flow is very, very important. Okay, how the blood enters and how the blood exits, that flow is very important. Can someone tell me the flow, how the blood enters and how it exits?
So,
Yes.
so from the lungs, we get like the oxygenated blood is transported to the left atrium through the pulmonary vein, and from the left atrium, it goes to the left ventricle when it like passes through the valves. From the left ventricle, it's transported to the body organ, and this is oxygenated blood, which goes through the aorta. From the body organ, the vena cava, it collects all the deoxygenated blood and it transports it to the right atrium. The right atrium passes the blood to the right ventricle, which passes through the valve, which further goes back to the lungs through the pulmonary artery for further oxygenation.
Very good. So please understand that flow. Okay, you can get a lot of questions, the order, okay, and the component of, means the functions of each and every component. Okay, the flow is very, very important. Okay, the flow is very, very important. Where it enters, where it goes. Okay, when the valve opens, when the valve closes, all these things. Okay, just keep that in mind. And then why we call our circulation is double circulation? Why we call?
Because on the pathway of like blood through the heart, it passes twice for like
Yes.
transporting oxygen.
Yeah, oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood enters. So that's why we call it as double circulation. So keep that in mind. So what is the difference between the vessels and arteries? What are arteries and what are vessels?
Arteries carry the blood like away from the heart to the organs, and veins they collect the blood from the different parts of the body and like they transport it to the heart.
Okay. Arteries from heart to different parts. Veins from different organs to the heart. Okay. So that's very, very important. Arteries and vessels, their basic functions. Okay, fine. So what are the components of the blood?
Red blood cells, white blood cells, blood platelets.
Okay, cells, and then molecules, and then
So plasma.
yeah, water and molecules together form plasma, and then the cells. Okay, different type of cells.
RBCs, WBCs, and platelets.
Yeah, platelets. Fine, good. So, and you should know the functions of all these cells also, right? What is lymph? What's lymph?
It is a colorless fluid.
Yes. See, when the blood has, see, look at that. The blood has all the substances, cells, macromolecules, micromolecules, and water. Lymph is when you remove the cellular part and then the macromolecules, only water and important kuti substances are present, which are very essential for the immune function of the immune function. So that component, immune component, are actually called what? Lymph. Okay, colorless, less protein, but having the important molecules of immune system like antigen, antibodies, and then other ions, minerals, etc. So that's the important thing about lymph. Okay. See, coming to the plant, what is for xylem? What is phloem in transportation? Why
Xylem
xylem?
transports water, phloem transports food.
Okay, good. And then trophism in plant. So what are the different type of trophism?
Hydrotropism, geotropism.
Okay, fine. In coordination also, we will be discussing about trophism. Here, what is translocation?
Change in the
What
location
is, translocation means?
change in location of any organism.
Okay. What is ascent of sap?
Sir, it's the process through which water is entering into the plant through the roots and going upwards.
Yeah. See, water from root to the top of the plant is called what? Ascent of sap. And then the nutrients means the food produced here and to all parts of the plant is called what? Translocation. Okay, just keep things in mind. So this is how the plant regulates this. What supports the movement of substances or accent of sap? Transpiration. Okay, good. Now coming to the excretion in humans, what are the components? We have a pair of kidney and the blood in and out, inlet and outlet, artery and veins. And then you have pair of ureter, and then urinary bladder and urethra. Okay, so these are all the basic components of kidney. And the basic unit of kidney is what? The functional unit of a kidney was nephron. The nephron will have three components: glomerulus apparatus, like the yellow coiled tubes called PCT and DCT, and then the loop of Henle. So what is the function of glomerulus apparatus? This is the glomerulus and Bowman's capsule. Glomerulus apparatus, ultrafiltration. Okay, that's ultrafiltration. And then PCT for what?
Reabsorption.
Reabsorption. Okay, reabsorption. And then another important function of nephron, secretion. Okay, filtration, reabsorption, secretions. Means some substances maybe from here to here or from here to here are added just to maintain that osmoregulation. Okay, balance, osmoregulation. So that is called secretion. Together, ultrafiltration, reabsorption, secretion results in what? Urine formation. Okay, so that's the main function of kidney, right? Okay, so can I ask you some simple questions? Hello, students.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is the function of Bowman's capsule?
Ultrafiltration.
Okay, filtration. Very good. See, is there any difference in the system, reproductive or in an excretory system in male and female? Is there any difference in any significant difference in male and female in the excretory system?
I think there is no
Urine.
difference.
Hmm? You think there is no? See, listen. In humans, in male, the urethra, okay, the urethra in male, okay, connected to the external genitalia, the penis. So the seminal fluid and the urine are excreted through the urethra, common passage for urine and seminal fluid in male. But in female, urethra helps in the removal of urine, and they have different passage for the vaginal fluid to the reproductive fluid to pass through. Okay, the entry and exit of the reproductive fluids in female is different. Okay, not through single channel, it is through different channels. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's the only way male and female reproductive systems are different from each other. Okay, so prepare well for your exams. And maybe the actually sir asked me to discuss with a lot of questions. Since this chapter is longer one, I just wanted to insist on the important components of all the four processes, and especially in humans. But maybe later, like the assignment questions can be given. You please work out, and any doubt you can approach. Okay, and prepare well for your exams. Understand the concepts. Okay, work out on the assignments. It will definitely help you. Okay, so thanks for joining and thanks for your interaction.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
I see.
yeah, take care. Yeah, take care.